In this video, I'll be sharing my exploratory practice with screen printing onto textiles. I am working within the Surface Pattern and Textiles department at Swansea College of Art, utilising their range of specialised equipment across their studio for screen printing. I'll be sharing information on how this process works and good practice for getting the perfect screen. While screen exposure is a great way to transfer your ideas onto fabric, there are many different approaches that synergise with it. When we have gained confidence in pulling and printing with a screen, we begin developing our practice with experimentation. Being curious and creating through learning is the best way to develop samples, try new processes, and find out how we enjoy working. Cutting our own stencils is an alternative method for transferring artwork onto textiles. We are able to make our own negatives and positives similar to the screen exposure process, utilising paper stencils, which can only be used once, unlike an exposed screen. Using a sheet that is larger than the size of our fabric, we can create a positive for our screen by drawing out our design or shape, and then utilising a sharp blade and a cutting mat to carefully remove the shape. It is important to keep in mind during the drawing process that we will be cutting areas away, so excessive detail and intricacies can be lost. Simple motif lends itself well to the stencil process. When we cut our motif out of our sheet of paper, we have created our positive. When we print with this, we will produce the exact shape we cut and nothing else. The motif we cut from this sheet and now have separate is our negative. If we were to place our negative down and print over it, we would produce the space outside of the shape. To print with our negatives and positives, we use a clean, open mesh screen that has not been coated with emulsion or exposed. As our screen is completely open, it is important to ensure that our screen is not larger than the size of our fabric, or that we mask out the areas we wish to contain our print to. If we do not, we will have excess print paste outside of our fabric and this will create a mess. We can experiment with using both positives and negatives on one print to get a more interesting composition. We place our positives and negatives onto our fabric, considering the layout, moving and changing until we are happy, keeping in mind how we could possibly work back into it later. How would two different motifs change when overlapped over each other? How could we leave space to return later to overlay print in different complementary colours? Working with stencils can be unpredictable, but can produce unique and one-of-a-kind prints. Another option for stencil printing is to work with a laser cutter to produce cut shapes and compositions. We use these in the same way we would use hand-cut stencils with an open mesh screen. Combining cut stencils with exposed artwork on screen allows us to push this practice further. Having a variety of textures and patterns exposed onto screens ready to experiment with is invaluable and opens up another layer of development in the print process. It provides us with an immediate resource for experimentation. What will happen if we overlay this artwork with a stencil positive? How will it change the design if we lay the positive first and then the exposed artwork? We can print our exposed artwork through cut stencil shapes, laying down our stencil and our exposed screen design on top. Exploring different types of pastes and pigments, colour palettes, and combining complementary and contrasting imagery are all ways to continue expanding upon this practice as you get more comfortable printing and creating compositions. For more insight into the screen printing process and artworking process, explore our other videos through the Craft Hub platform.